Hey y'all, this is The People versus OJ Simpson, episode 4. Okay, and I will try to put the link on my Twitter account. It's at Jazz Chapman. But I mean, by now, if it isn't up by tonight, which it probably will not be, I think the website that I get it from like usually uploads the next morning. So if not, I mean, if I don't, at least put it on there, you can go check the old links and go to that website and see if they posted it yet. But, until then, you can go ahead and hit your girl up with the like. So, I'm going to try to make this, um, I'm going to try to make this short, or I guess under 10 minutes. But, yeah, I was into this episode. I was playing Monopoly while I was watching it, but I got into it. So first it shows OJ in the club with Robert Kardashian. He's got this young Caucasian lady, and he's like sniffing cocaine off of her chest. And I'm like, what? I'm like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, how is he in the club? And I'm like, this must be like a dream or something. So they all, they partying, they having fun. And the next thing you know, it shows OJ in jail looking like I'm missing out. So, I don't know. Did OJ really do coke? What proof do they have of that? They just gonna throw false stuff in this damn show just for entertainment. Well, I mean, they gonna do it anyways. But anyway, so basically, Marsha and all the other people, they are trying to get basically a group of people that are black and white. I guess they're going to be they're trying to find out who the jurors are going to be, and then they do a they do a survey, and the survey asks, does anyone think OJ is innocent? And so all the black people raise their hand, and then they asked, did anybody think that OJ did it? And all the white people raised their hand. I was like, well, yeah. Now y'all know it's definitely going to be a racial trial. So afterwards, the guy giving the survey asked, what do you think of Marsha? I can't remember her last name. And so this one Caucasian lady was like, she's a bitch. And everybody, they start laughing, and even, Caucasian people were agreeing, like, yeah, we don't like her. And Marsha was thinking that because of, I guess, past trials that she's done for women, that she felt like she had black women on her side because of standing up for women's rights, I guess. And yeah, Marsha was quickly mistaken because they end up bringing the results back. And basically, the guy told her, look, black women don't like you. She was like, that's bullshit. Okay, they like me. They like me. Okay, I get letters from black women all the time saying, how much they look up to me, and they thank me and stuff. And he was like, well, I mean, it didn't come out in this. So they feel like because this whole case is a racial thing, they feel like they have to have black people on their side to, win over this case. And they end up going to a plea hearing, and Marsha is talking about how she wants to take hairs from OJ to basically match it to the crime scene. And Johnny gets up like, wait a minute, how many hairs do they need? And she's like, well, I mean, we need 5 here and 5 there, and I guess about 100 hairs. Judge, no. she would not take 100 hairs. That is a ridiculous amount. And she was like, okay, 80. 80 is too much. We'll give you about 5, maybe 10 hairs. And they arguing, and then not OJ. Johnny basically tells the judge that they need another time to come back to trial just for the hairs alone. And the judge grants them that. So that's that with that for now. But Faye, who was at the funeral, she was also Nicole's best friend along with Chris. She is talking to these authors and she's giving information on Nicole, and she's like, put in the book that she was a good mother. You really got to push that part that she was a good mother, so people would, they'll be rooting for Nicole. And she was a great mother. She partied and she clubbed all the time. I was like, well, this already, not to offend anybody, but you go and say there in the court that she was a partier and a clubber, they gonna be like, oh no, she wasn't. So I know it doesn't mean that you're not a good mother, but that don't look good. So then she starts talking about how they did cocaine just about every day. I'm like, yeah, this girl is wasted out of her mind. Why are you doing this? You're not helping her. And so she goes on to say that Nicole would greet people with, she was very into sex. She loved having sex, just about every day. And, OJ, that really brought a problem against them, because when they broke up, he knew that Nicole had to have it every single day. So that means that she would be sleeping with all different types of men. So when I'm watching this, I'm like, well, damn. Like, I knew, okay, just reading when I did Wikipedia on the first episode, and I saw that Nicole was basically his side chick while he was married to his first wife for 2 years. I said, okay, I know right there she's not squeaky clean. Okay. So, and then Faye goes on to say how friendly she was, that she would give people Brentwood hellos. And they was like, what is Brentwood hellos? And she was like, well, basically, Nicole would go down, she would go down on the men. And I'm like, girl, you is not helping. You need to shut up. Are you doing this for money? And she ends up on TV, and she's talking about how, Nicole is, and Robert's mad. He's like, no, Nicole wasn't like that. Why is Faye saying this? Why is she saying this? I wonder where Faye is at now, okay? Faye is a true cokehead. What? Because you can't be in your right mind to say some stuff like this. So anyways, on to Shapiro and Johnny or whatever. Shapiro basically, he feels like he's this, I'm the leader of this, and basically everybody on the team is feeling like he's over his head. He's in a meeting with everyone like, okay, now we just had Johnny join the team, and just to ask anybody, do anyone feel like OJ did it? And they all look at him like, and he's like, okay, yeah, no, me neither. And I'm like, Shapiro just needs to leave this dream scene. It ain't working. This not fitting you, boo. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna go over 10 minutes because the damn show was almost 1 hour and 20. So anyways, so now it's this thing where Shapiro feels like, okay, well, we need to go to the press and we need to talk to them about how this is a race issue, And then so Johnny is like, you know what? I agree with you about going to the press. Okay? I just don't think that you are the one to do it. So Shapiro, they're on the elevator. Shapiro is like pissed right now. And then as soon as the doors open, he's like, I will be the one leading the press. So then Johnny ends up going to get his shoe shined. And it's some reporters end up coming over him anyways. Then next thing you know, he got the whole media and he leading it anyways. Nobody was feeling Shapiro on that subject. I guess he just couldn't relate. Marsha ended up talking to Chris Darden, and she tells him that she was scored very low among the people. She was scored a 4. OJ was scored, I guess, a 6 with white people and a 10 with blacks. So basically that puts him at an 8, a high score. And she was like, well, tell me, Chris, like, what is it? And he was like, well, I'm going to tell you like this. Johnny is a guy that is for the people. Okay, he's real. He's always going to fight hard for what he believes in. He's always going to fight for justice and for black rights. And he's like, he talks like a preacher because he goes to church every week. People trust him. So basically, Marsha ain't feeling too good about that either. So, Marsha, you might be a little over your head too. But, so they end up having another meeting later on. I might be skipping something. But they end up having another meeting later on with OJ and all the lawyers. And, OJ and Johnny and all them, they're sick of Shapiro. Like, OJ, he kind of like, I like for people to like me. I don't really want to, have no conflict or nothing like that. But, why isn't he here? So Shapiro was like, okay, I thought of it. I thought what we need to do. We're going to go and try to get a settlement. We're going to say that, we're going to plead manslaughter, that you were so angry, you were hurt, you saw her with another man, and you went and slashed the tires, but you got caught, and you were caught up, and everybody's looking at him like, what the hell is wrong with you? And that was my thinking. I said, now, who in the hell? You are not for your client. When you come in here talking about, oh, we need to do a settlement, and, basically say you did it, like, come on now. That made you look so ridiculous. And then they got this other guy on here that's a part of the Dream Team. I believe he's like friends or whatever with Shapiro. I don't remember his name, but he's telling Johnny, before all this happened with Shapiro making that settlement up, that, Johnny, we need you. Me and you, we work hard for our clients. We go to court. Shapiro isn't about that. Shapiro is, he's a person that settles. He's a pussy, basically. And OJ needs us. So, and then a guy go on Larry King, and he's talking about, he's acting like he's on Shapiro's side, but then he's talking about how, well, the media says that Shapiro's over his head. He's, basically a bunch of insults. And he's like, it's untrue. And then Shapiro's looking at it like, then why would you say that? Why would you say that? And I'm sitting there laughing like, yeah, if you really felt like that wasn't true, you wouldn't go on TV and repeat those things that were said. So that was, it was shade. So anyways, So now after the whole conversation about the settlement, Robert Kardashian was like, okay, so OJ, what do we need to get this witness? Because it's a witness that claims that she saw OJ's Bronco outside of Nicole's house at 10:15, which it basically is a conflict with the the other side. I can't even think of the word. The other side's story, basically, it doesn't match up. So they're basically ignoring him. Once they get out, Johnny is like, when does Shapiro go on his Hawaiian trip? Is it tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, tomorrow. Okay, well, tomorrow afternoon, we go in his office and we clear out every file that he has of OJ, okay? Because he's not going to mess this up for us. I'm going to be in charge of it. So then Johnny goes and talks to OJ about being the leader of the team. And OJ's like, well, I don't know. What does Bob feel about this? And they're like, forget what Bob thinks. Okay? Because he is not, basically looking out for your best interest. You need Johnny for that. So he's like, okay, well, I guess so. So Shapiro comes back from his trip and he goes in his office and he looks around and he's like, where are my OJ folders? Where's everything at? And his assistant or receptionist, whatever you want to call her, she's like, well, Mr. Cochran came out and they cleaned out your OJ files. And he was like, they can't do that. Let's call a meeting. And she's like, well, Cochran has already called a meeting. And somebody sent this. They went and talked to, I guess, New York Times or something. And basically what Shapiro was saying that he got benched. So Shapiro's face, and it said that he got benched. So now he's pissed. He goes to the Cochran firm and he's like, we need to talk. Okay, I'm the leader of this. And Johnny's like, well, OJ's on the phone. He was like, okay, well, that's good. I want him to hear this, okay? I'm the leader of this, and we're going to do it like this. And they're like, okay, you're not the leader. And the guy that was on Larry King that I said basically threw him under the bus was like, well, respectfully, I would like to say that I think Johnny Cochran is the best person to lead this team. And he was like, I don't care what you say. I am the leader, and we're going to go with it my way. And then so Robert Kardashian is like, OJ, what do you have to say? He was like, I mean, well, I look at it as if you're like my football team, okay? We had all our bullshit, but when it came to Sunday, when it was time to play, we came together as a team and we did it. And so Shapiro's like, what are you trying to say? And he was like, well, I look at it like you're the quarterback and Johnny is the running back. And so Shapiro's like, so I'm the quarterback. And he was like, yeah, but the thing is, we're not going to be throwing the ball as much. And so he's like, what do you mean? You're saying I'm the quarterback? And then Kardashian is telling him, like, you need to clear it up. Just go ahead and tell him what it is. He's like, well, okay, yeah, I want Johnny to lead. So Shapiro's basically standing there looking like he got defeated. You basically did. So, now he needs to fall to the, the back of the line. I feel like he shouldn't even be on that team. I just don't. Like, they already, they had a situation where they went to talk to the judge. I forgot to say that the book came out. So now they put the court dates on hold because they need to find out if what's in the book is going to basically mess with the trial. So They are. So they're talking about race, and Shapiro's like, well, and to me it sounded like he was changing it up. Well, this is ridiculous. We really know that this isn't about race. And Johnny's like, Shapiro, we live in U.S., United States of America. It is about race, okay? If you want to say we playing a race card, well, we're going to have to just do that then. Because, I mean, he's a black man in America. So, now Shapiro, he hadn't felt backstabbed. Like, Johnny, how could you go ahead and basically contradict me in front of everybody? And Johnny's like, well, you've been contradicting yourself. So, and now they're on hold because they have to order all these copies of the book to see what's in the book. So, they end up reading, towards the end of the episode, they end up reading about what's in the book. Some said that Nicole had 6 abortions so that she couldn't have any more babies by OJ. And OJ's like, that's not true. How would you know, OJ? I'm sure she wouldn't have told you. And so then, Robert's reading, he's like, well, this is not true, and that's not true. Well, this is true. And I'm like, well, although Faith is a cokehead, I mean, she was her best friend, so if they're very close, she's going to tell her stuff. She ain't telling everybody else, okay? And it was talking about how OJ was so jealous because he knew that she basically was, a sex fiend, that she would be sleeping with other men and he'd be hiding out in the bushes waiting for her. And how, she did coke every day. And it was ridiculous the amount of stuff they put in there. Okay. So that's it for this episode. They're feeling very betrayed. Now they gotta see how, everything's gonna play out in trial because of this book. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Jazz Chapman. Follow me on Instagram at Jazz_Chapman. Peace.